Hey everyone, Haggy here, and welcome to another episode of Breaking the Meta. This week's episode will be a special celebrating the announcement of Mega Salamence. I am so freaking psyched right now. Oh my goodness, you do not even know. You do not even know how psyched I am for Mega Salamence. I have always been a huge Salamence fan. As soon as I saw this thing in the game, I was like, that is a dragon. That is a dragon that defines dragons. There's been dragons before this one, and they were all just like, I feel like kind of cute and gimmicky, and Garchomp came out next generation. That was a scary dragon too. And that's the more overused dragon out of the two. Salamence though, literally when it first came out, its generation, it was Ubers. Now it's barely legal, which means it qualifies for this show luckily, but I won't really be doing any other barely legal pokes just because I figure they're powerful enough to put themselves up in OU. You don't really need a video on that, or you probably don't care to have a video on that, but this is a special to celebrating Mega Salamence there. I will be doing an analysis video on Mega Salamence tomorrow. Sunday will get you another giveaway video and a Mega Salamence analysis video. I hope you're psyched for that as I am, because I do know a little bit of information on it that I found out. I know enough to definitely do the analysis there. I'm going to be talking about design, I'm going to be talking about competitive viability. It's going to be a great thing there. It's going to be a great thing there. Without further ado though, let's go ahead and get into some of our sets here. Looking at Salamence himself, the first thing that probably stands out to you then is that massive attack stat. 135. That is monstrous in damage. Now, Salamence is higher in attack than the more overused Garchomp, but Garchomp has an electrical immunity and is slightly faster, and that's probably what threw him above Salamence this generation, because it has been a fast meta game so far. You can either stall your heart out pretty much, or you're fast. Salamence though is really fast. He's right at the perfect speed with 100, so he's not really too slow to do much. I find Salamence's forte here is as a mixed attacker. And let me explain that to you here. It means he's going to specialize in one or the other. He's not going to be like straight down the middle attack and then special attack. So that one, you know, it kind of throws an interesting twist on him. The set that we have here first is I would call Salamance's flagship set. It's the one that I use. Don't be afraid, by the way, to adjust some of these EVs. I carry Dragon Dance on the set, like I'll explain here in a second. So you could probably pretty easily, with his massive attack stat, crank that down to somewhere around there. Give him a little bit more in special attack, but the thing is, he doesn't need much more in special attack. Because he is carrying only one special attacking move as a Wall Breaker, in case someone tries to stop a sweep like Ferrothorn would really mess up a Salamence. But we're carrying Fire Blast on this set for things like Ferrothorn, things like Skarmory. Both of those will get wrecked by this. You can feel free to run Flamethrower instead of Fire Blast, by the way. But at that point, I would definitely recommend for you guys to invest a little bit in special attack. You can use the Smogon Pokemon damage calculator to really realize how much you need for that. I haven't done that yet. Just because I'm pretty sure Fire Blast nets a one-hit KO on Ferrothorn really easily, because base 110 special attack, not much is surviving that at all. I know it's not stab, but 4 times super effective. Oh, this also gives Salamence an interesting chance to check Sizzler. As you guys know, I run Intimidate on my Arcanine to help it check Sizzler. Salamence gets Intimidate and Moxie. Which, by the way, you can feel free to run either one on this set. I prefer Intimidate for it though. Because with Intimidate, you can get in there and hopefully on their switch out, you get a chance to set up your Dragon Dance. So, honestly, you're immediately getting bumped up from a base 100 to pretty much a base 150 speed. Not a lot will outspeed him. Like, he will outspeed, I'm pretty sure, almost all of the Unscarfed metagame, if not all of it. And with that attack boost, he'll just start wrecking through your team. Or their team, not your own team. No, Salamence, bad. So Salamence, I think in the first attacking slot, should either run Dragon Claw or Outrage, depending on your preference. With the advent of fairies this generation, it does make it quite hard to run Outrage, as they're completely immune to it and can mess up your day. So I prefer Dragon Claw in that slot, to be honest with you, but that one's completely personal preference. I find that after a Dragon Dance though, it does plenty of damage. Fire Blast or Flamethrower is definitely what I'd recommend in here. I mean, I'm pretty sure he gets Heat Wave too, yeah he does. Which is great for multi-battles, but not for OU per se. But Heat Wave is definitely a viable option on him. Don't forget it. I mean, it does plenty of good damage. It does do more damage than Flamethrower, but the accuracy is what puts me off it. And on the last slot, I'm doing Earthquake for coverage yet again. You can feel free to put anything you want in here though. Crunch might be a decent coverage option for you. Iron Tail will be a very good coverage option for you, and he does get that right there. The accuracy is a little bit shaky, but the amount that it can pay off by one-hit KOing threats to you, really handy. I run mine, as you probably saw on that screen there, max attack. Max speed was a naive nature, so it doesn't harm any of his attacking stats and lets him still rampage all through that. For our second set of Salamence today, please feel free to supplement a choice scarf, not a choice band. This is just kind of a fun, I'd call it more of a wall breaker set, to be honest with you. It should be carrying the Fire Fang on here, but I put Stone Edge on there just to show you do have more options on there, and how diverse this thing's move pool is incredible. But yeah, feel free for the scarf there. Your ability will definitely be Moxie on this set though, because the more Pokemon he can break through, he can even just set himself up to sweep. He would make himself an excellent late game sweeper, or if he has Stealth Rocks up already on the field, brilliant. Brilliant to work there. First slot, we're running Outrage here. You can run Dragon Claw, I suppose, but for this set, I wouldn't really recommend it. Your whole point with this set of Salamence is he's going to take out the heavier, bulkier opponent on your opposing Pokemon. You got it. Anywho, just knock them out for your other teammates, especially if you have more frail members or Pokemon that just can't break through. Iron Tail is a coverage move here. I'd almost always recommend you carry that on this set. And yet again, like I said, Scarf is definitely an option. You can run him kind of like a modified Scarf Cross. It does work. It really does, to be honest with you. In fact, if you want to try that set instead of the choice band, I'd recommend it. You'll probably want to switch up a little bit of these attacks. I run Stone Edge on this part, but I would also go so far to recommend running Fire Fang. The 95% accuracy thing is kind of annoying, but Stone Edge isn't really good accuracy either, and it'll help you break through Ferrothorn really fast, especially if he switches it in after you've already KO'd one of his folks. You should be able to get through it in at least, the maximum 2 hits. And in the final slot, I run EQ for coverage. Just a great move all around. That base 100 power. Earthquake is just, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best moves ever done. As you see here, we have max attack, max speed, and we're running a Jolly Nature on it. Not really much to explain there. There's not really too much diversity there. Now here's a set that I don't think a lot of people give credit for, but will really help you throw your opponent off guard. Special Salamence is a thing. I'm just going to tell you that now. You do not see it very often, but it is an incredibly underrated threat. Salamence is a special attacker. Will not only throw your opponents off guard, but he can hit them all incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. Now I know what you're probably thinking on this one though. Why would you want to use Salamence over Latios or Latios in the special attacking dragon role? As both of them are OU and both of them are really powerful. This one's for the surprise factor. Everyone knows what a Latios is going to do. Everyone knows what a Latios is going to do. And when your opponent sees Salamence, they'll probably feel free, okay, I'm going to switch in my, physical wall against the Salamence and wall it out. This is when you reveal the special Salamence, because that choice specs on there, you're breaking through a lot of different Pokemon there. He will get through anything you really need him to. So like I said though, this is kind of a set based off surprise, so run it at your own risk. Also feel free to supplement the Scarf on this one too, it would work. It's pretty easy. I do kind of find it hard to justify this over the Latios though, but I'm telling you, it's actually a very viable set for this tier. You'd be surprised. The ability pretty much has to be Intimidate. There's no reason to run Moxie on this. You run Draco Meteor for the huge amount of stab damage there. Flamethrower for your coverage, especially good to pop that Ferrothorn that I was talking about earlier. You can run Fire Blast here, but on the special set, I definitely find Flamethrower plenty powerful enough for anything you need. Dragon Pulse is in case you want a good stab move, but you don't want to go ahead and just bust out your Draco Meteor, because that does lower your special attack by 2 stages, so that's really more of a drop a bomb on them than go ahead and switch out afterwards. And Hydro Pump will be your last thing here. It's a good coverage move, it's really powerful. You'll find some utility for it, trust me. Our final set today for Salamence is the Scarf set. This is that one that I was talking about earlier as a kind of Moxie Cross set, but the Salamence. So we're going to be running a Choice Scarf on our Salamence. The ability is Moxie. This is another kind of mixed set here. Like I said, the Fire Blast is only on there to break through Ferrothorn. I just couldn't find myself justified enough to bring in Fire Fang on this set. And I know this is also quite similar to the Salamence up here, our very first set we checked out, but it plays differently, trust me on that one. He makes a really good revenge killer to start up his sweep, and that's the way I'd recommend doing it. We have on here Dragon Claw for your just general good powerful stab move. Outrage for when your opponent has no fairies, and it's really good for cleaning up late game because the power behind that is just amazing. Fire Blast to sweep up any of your opponent's steel types, Scizor, Ferrothorn, though this one's not as adept to beat out that Scizor because it lacks Intimidate, but it can still do it. And we're running EQ in our last set kind of as a coverage thing there. Like I always keep saying, if you would like to change up your coverage move to whatever you need for your team, Salamence can pretty much run it. I'm actually pretty sure no matter what you do, if you need him for your team, he's got perfect coverage for it and can really help you deal with a lot of common threats. Now, let's real quick have a quick conversation about why Salamence isn't used as much as his other Dragon Brothers. Looking at those stats there, it must really seem kind of like a mystery to the newer players why, and I'm going to tell you right now. The real reason is a quadruple weakness dies. Salamence gets outspeed by Greninja, and Ice Shard is a priority move. Really wrecks Salamence. Salamence in general has problems dealing with that because it has low defenses. As every Pokemon has to have his weakness, Salamence has that as its. And to be honest with you, I'm more than happy GameFreak kind of decided to do that because the Unstoppable Salamence doesn't sound too fun. It really messes the metagame too much, so I'm really glad that they do this. So what you're going to have to do with your team is you're going to have something to take out those threats. What I would recommend as a partner for Salamence would be Conkeldurr. This thing right here is an excellent partner for Salamence. Conkeldurr has a fighting type stab to deal with pretty much anything that threatens him. He can almost always one-hit KO a Greninja, especially after it has that Ice Beam up and has one turn of Life Orb damage that Greninja's done. He can get rid of the Mamoswine, which is really threatening your Salamence. Pretty much any major threat to Salamence, other than, yet again, I consider the Latios a pretty big threat, unless it's running Specs and you're running Scarf, because you will KO the Latios pretty much every time like that. With any of the physical sets, or if you have one D-Dance up, you should be good on that one. But shy of all those, Conkeldurr takes care of it. If you are afraid of the Latios, good Pokemon to counter that would be your very own Mamoswine. Greninja is excellent for switching in on a Psyshock too, to help cover your Conkeldurr. So Greninja would actually make quite the great teammate for this, and he could give you a good lead, help weaken down the opponent's Pokemon. The final thing you'll really want on this team is a Spinner, which is the other reason Salamence isn't used as much, is he has a Stealth Rock weakness. He takes 25% of his HP every time he switches in on Stealth Rocks. So your smartest move on that one would be a good Spinner / Rock Layer combination there. I'd recommend Donphan as I usually do on that one. He's an excellent Pokemon. Excadrill though would do just fine for you too. And other than that, that's really all you need. You can work your other Pokemon that you really like into there. But I think Salamence is a Pokemon that you should definitely consider using here. Without further ado on that one though, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Breaking the Meta. I will try to use him this week. I know I didn't really use Empoleon this week, but I've had a really busy week, and I recorded a lot of my episodes one day, and I didn't really have the time to make a team for it, and I'm really sorry for that. I think I'm going to try to go ahead and get an episode of Pokemon Showdown Sessions with some Empoleon in it. I doubt I'm going to put Empoleon on the team with Salamence, but I might knock out two birds with one stone. We'll see, we'll see. I am actually quite the Empoleon fan, so I don't use it a lot, but I'm in love with it sometimes. Next week's Pokemon, I will tell you right now, though, will probably blow some of you away with its usages here. So, without further ado, though, everybody, if you enjoyed this, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I love a little bit of feedback there. Tell me what you guys want to see, what you enjoy. But as always, everybody, you have a great day.